Hey, folks, welcome back to FreepCast. My name is Robb Murray. I'm your host. I'm here without Joe Spear, who I'm told is currently soloing Mount Everest. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that. Not
Nice.
today.
He's a stud that way. But no, today we're here with our newest newsroom intern, Owen McDonnell. McDonnell. There's no D.
No D.
It's McDonnell. Real go-getter. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am the new intern here. I go to the University of Minnesota. I'm studying journalism. I'm a junior. Going into my last year, I have a creative writing minor, and I'm getting a management minor in this upcoming year for business or marketing or whatnot. I enjoy writing. Looking forward to continuing to write here and be here.
Tell me about the program that brings you to us. Is that Report from Minnesota?
It is.
How does that work?
Yeah. So it is a program specifically for U of M students, or specifically journalism students. So it's the pool for the internship is, it doesn't go beyond the 200 Hubbard journalism students at the University of Minnesota. So we have. Not we. I'm not facilitating it, but the U has 4 different newsrooms in Greater Minnesota. So one is Free Press, one is in Wilmer, one is in Brainerd, and the last one is in Grand Rapids. And they send a student out to each of the places, and they do reporting for kind of rural and Greater Minnesota newsrooms. Across Minnesota. And I applied, got the job, was sent down to Mankato, and here I am talking to you guys.
So from what I understand, though, you were able to choose your choice of internship.
You had a preference. I preferred Mankato just because.
Tell us why.
Well, I didn't prefer Grand Rapids. I know it's pretty up there, but it's, 3 hours north. Didn't want to go there. I wanted to stay as close to the cities as possible, and Mankato is like the biggest city. I'm pretty sure out of the all the options. I wanted something that was not like super small, where it's like a small high school and like the drama spreads in a day. So I wanted it big enough where it felt like a city and not just like some houses and like few shops. But still small enough where I could feel connected to it, because, the Twin Cities, it's big and it's pretty hard to really feel connected to the entire city. But I think Mankato is kind of that perfect happy medium.
So you had said earlier you were a creative writing minor?
Yes.
I didn't know that about you. Tell me about that.
So my trajectory kind of to get to journalism was, I originally, as like a kid, when I was like 5 and like beyond, I was writing fictional stories that were just like stories I made up in my head, wrote them down. They aren't very good, but I was 6 years old, so that's kind of like stuck with me throughout my life. I still love reading, and I kind of found out in high school that some important stories are like real stories. So that's how I kind of got into journalism, but I still had the writer's itch. So took some like creative writing classes, then I took a couple more because it looked interesting. And then I was like, oh, well, I got to take like one more to like get this minor. So I just took it, and I have the creative writing minor. Not sure what that'll look like in my life, if that will do anything, but it was fun. And I definitely learned a lot about like my writing. So,
do you still do anything creative like that?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of like book ideas that I haven't like tackled yet. I kept saying, okay, after I take this class, then I'll attack it. After I do this, after I do that, but I didn't really find the time to do it. And now that this summer I'm here, I'm away from like my family and friends. It's just me down here. I moved down here like 4 days ago, so I have a lot of time, and I told myself I'd devote time every night to writing one of my ideas for my stories. So yeah.
Yeah, we should point out that Owen's been here all of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been, we can't really talk about, how's it going so far because it's only
It's not really going yet.
Days.
Yeah.
So, having said that, though, how is it going so far?
It is good. Yeah, it's good. I mean, this is a random thing I noticed about Mankato versus like the cities and the suburbs. There's just a lot more trees. You look around and there are more trees than, and like obviously downtown Minneapolis, there aren't many trees, but even the surrounding areas, it's just, there are more trees here. And like, I don't know, I like nature, so that's a good thing. But yeah, when we were driving in, I'm like, wow, yeah, it's like pretty dense over here with trees. But yeah.
Mankato's very pretty. So where'd you go to high school?
I went to Hill Murray in
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. Do you know?
I went there for 2 years.
Oh, you did? And then you transferred?
I transferred, yeah.
Oh yeah. What happened?
Oh, that's a long story. We're not going to get into.
Okay.
For public airing.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I did go there.
That's hilarious.
The Pioneers.
Yeah, the Pioneers. Go Pioneers. Or maybe not.
That's fine. That's fine. I transferred to Johnson High School.
And is that in?
It's in St. Paul.
It is in St. Paul. Okay.
Not far from where you went to school.
Okay.
Did you play sports or anything in high school?
I played golf in high school. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I captain of the golf team senior year.
Captain of the golf team.
Yeah, got to make sure that's on the resume. Yeah.
You should get a copy of that yearbook.
Thrilling. Yeah. So.
Where'd you guys golf at like North Oaks and?
No, I worked at North Oaks. Though.
Okay.
Yeah. Wish we golfed there. We didn't golf there. We played at Keller.
That's a nice course.
It's still a nice course. Yeah. And I think it's one of the nicest public courses in it, like for the price. It's still a pretty decent price. But yeah, we practiced there. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to bore everybody with the details of our golf.
This is just you and me talking here.
Yeah.
I mean, I also golfed at Keller quite a bit when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Keller and Phelan.
Yep. Oh yeah, Phelan. Well, if you are curious, the big tree on the third hole on the fourth hole on the par 3 is still there.
I have no memory of the tree on the fourth hole.
It just blocks the green.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe that does ring a bell.
Yeah.
Before I go any further with this riveting golf conversation, we should mention that our sponsor for this podcast is the Minnesota Valley Federal Credit Union. Like last week, I don't have the list of all the counties that they serve in, but it's all of them in our area. Give them a shout if you get a chance. Tell me something that would surprise people about you. Other than your Catholic high school education.
Yeah. That is a good question. I would surprise people about me. Well,
we put Leah on the spot last week too. So
what was her answer for this?
I didn't ask her that question.
Man. I mean, for people who know me, I mean, like, I guess everything comes to a surprise for the people listening right now because no one knows anything about me.
Are you a gamer? Are you into Dungeons and Dragons? Are you furry? Give us.
Yeah, well, I am a gamer. I guess a surprise would be that I guess I sort of I'm a mix of a lot of different demographics. I guess.
Okay.
I love to play games. Love reading like sci-fi and fantasy and all that, but I also like love watching sports and I love following sports and like I don't know, there's going out with my friends, all that stuff. So it's kind of a mix.
Did you follow the Wolves playoff run?
I did, yeah. It's pretty awesome, but not awesome enough.
I mean, if you watch that team in the first half of the season, you might not even think they would have gotten that far. So
yeah, I mean, I've been following our the speculations of our trades for Kevin Durant.
Are they going to re-sign Naz Reid?
I hope so. For the right price, I think we will. And then we leave, or we let Nickeil Alexander walk.
Okay.
Walker walk. And then I don't really know.
Is Gobert up for?
No, probably not. Because I wish he was. But.
Is he one more year?
Well, he took a pay cut for the team because he just loved the team so much. But I don't really love Gobert that much. He's good, but there can be someone better. But no one's going to take the contract he's on right now for how good he is.
You're probably right. So tell me about your journalism education at the University of Minnesota. Which professors have had the biggest impact on your education?
I gotta say, first person for a couple people. One, Seth Richardson. He is kind of a like no BS. Like he will give it to you straight, which was really nice. That's a class that I took in the past spring semester. Learned a lot there. He is, I don't know, super funny, super outgoing. Throws a lot of curveballs at you, which if you've ever been in the journalism industry, that is basically the entire job is dealing with curveballs. So that was pretty nice. And then another person, Christopher Terry, he taught me. He taught my media law class, which sounds not that interesting, but it was probably the most interesting class I've ever taken.
That was my favorite class at J school.
So interesting. Yeah. And he is hilarious. He did radio. He knows how to talk, and he made the class. I mean, it was a very easy class. We had to do 10 writing assignments. That's it. But I remember and learned more than the other sections that had the rigorous midterms and stuff. So I don't know. I just really enjoyed it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you work for the Minnesota Daily, the student newspaper, and you are on the podcast desk?
I am, yeah. I'm normally not on this side of the equation, though. So, but yeah, I do podcasting.
So tell me about that and how what got you interested in that?
Well, I wanted to work at the Minnesota Daily, and I've been told I have a good speaking voice, or I have a good. People say, "Wow, you should be on the radio." So I was going to do writing, and I kept scrolling down on the website, just looking at all the options, and there was a podcast position open. So I applied, got the job, and
they heard your voice.
And they heard my voice. I had to send in a voice clip, so they heard my voice. They hired me, and then I just started working there, doing stories for that.
So is that what you want to do?
I really do like doing podcasting, but I'm right now, here doing writing. I like to write too, so I will learn after the summer if I really do like podcasting or more of the digital aspect, multimedia aspect, or if I will enjoy writing. And I mean, writing I feel like is more of a maybe safer bet. There's always writing everywhere. There isn't necessarily podcasting everywhere. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to pigeonhole myself in podcasting. I, like video. I like podcasting. I like this. I like that. So just trying to figure it out. I'm 21. Everyone always says that no one knows what you're doing at 21. So, and I can attest to that.
So tell me about, as a member of the younger generation.
Okay.
What are your go-to sources for news? I mean, do you read newspapers?
I don't, the paper. I don't read the paper.
Whether it's,
but I do, okay.
Whether it's print edition or online.
I might not be the best person to talk to about this because I am in the journalism school, and they kind of hammer into your head to read the Star Tribune every day, read this, read that if you want. But, so I do read the news every day. I read the Star Tribune. I get their morning thing, and I'll read through the top stories. I mean, some people are gonna hate to hear it, but I get a decent amount of news from social media. That's just how it is nowadays. Particularly sports news. I get stuff from ESPN. You will hear stuff on Instagram that I might have to fact check, and typically it's true, but sometimes it isn't. But still, I hear it from Instagram first. That's just how it is with our
So you have a nice mix, a nice balance of news sources for you, whether it be traditional sources and social media.
Yeah, definitely.
And fake news.
Yeah, but and fake news. So, but I will say that me and other journalism students are probably outliers in the sense that we're still reading our generation is still reading the news daily. Because if I asked all my friends, they just don't read the news like that. They probably get the news from, national news where it's all jumbled up.
So is there anything that you think the older generation of journalists don't understand about the younger generation?
That's a good question. I think that, and this is the younger than even us, but, and it's something to do with phones and technology and how 6-year-olds are, sitting on their iPad all day. Attention spans are just so much shorter. And that's something that like Instagram Reels and like TikTok does really well, is they keep their stuff to like less than a minute. And unfortunately nowadays, some people, especially on their phones, don't have the attention span to read a 5-minute article about something that they kind of care about, but like are just kind of reading it because it's the news. If it's something they really care about, they're going to read the whole thing. But a lot of the news, like, you don't really know if you're going to care about it a whole lot until you're the end of it. And then you'll decide whether you think it was interesting or you cared about it. But most people can't even get to the end at this point anymore. So I think, and I don't know if this is something that the older generation doesn't understand, but like for me, I can't really imagine sitting down every day and just opening up the paper and just reading through the paper. That's not something like we really do anymore. We will scroll through the stories that are available and pick out the headline. Like my grandpa still reads the entire thing every Sunday. That's just something we don't do anymore. I don't like, my attention span is at least good enough to like read an entire story that I think I might find interesting, but there's a lot of people, and especially younger than us, that probably aren't even like that.
So how do you feel about the fact that some of the stuff you're going to do this summer here is stuff you wouldn't read?
Look, that's fine. Like, and that's like, look, I come from not a small town, come from the cities. Mm-hmm. The stuff I'm reporting on right now is in my head, like, I'm like, at first I have to think, I'm kind of surprised people would even want to read this. But then I think that, like, there's a difference between local news, small town news, and like Twin Cities news. Like, the like River Congress is meeting next week. For me, I'm like, well, I mean, who's going to read that? But people are going to read that. Mm-hmm. That is like the local news. So even though at first, I wouldn't be necessarily reading that, that doesn't mean that it's not important for the people that I'm providing it to.
So what are you hoping to get out of this 3 months? You're here for 3 months or 10 weeks or something?
It's 10 weeks. Yeah.
Well, at the end of your 10 weeks, what do you hope to learn about yourself or learn about journalism?
Yeah, I hope to learn whether I like the style of writing that most, publications or types of stories, need. For podcasting, you definitely are. You're not writing an AP style. You're not writing in like a inverted pyramid or whatever. It's just storytelling, and I like telling stories, so that was perfect for me. But I didn't do enough. I haven't done a ton of, rigid, AP style. There's a dash here. You don't write. You don't use this word. You're editorializing too much. I want to know if I actually still if I do enjoy doing that, and I just haven't written enough to have like a grasp on it. And most of the stuff that I've written for that it would be like that is for class. And it's hard to really feel connected to the stories you're writing in class when no one's going to read them. So like the story I just did, to me it's about an older group of people who are in like an organization. I have, not really connected to that because I'm a younger person, but I still feel like it's important. I enjoyed writing it because people are going to read it and people care about it. So yeah. And I just want to find out if I like that style of writing. And I've got 10 weeks to figure it out. So.
All right. Do you have any questions for us? As you're thinking about that, we'll mention the sponsor one more time. Minnesota Valley Federal Credit Union. serving Blue Earth. I'm going to try Blue Earth, Nicollet, Watonwan, Waseca, Sibley, Faribault, Martin, maybe more counties with their financial expertise and long history in Mankato. So thanks for the sponsorship, guys. You have any questions for us before we wrap it up here?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Thanks for coming on. I know it was kind of a last minute thing to
right.
just kind of yank you in here
That's right.
because Joe is busy doing whatever Joe does when he's not here. But that'll be it. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next time.